And welcome to High Vibe Channeling for this Sunday, March 29th, 2026. We just had a little unrecorded session from the hybrid children. And now we're moving on with our second session from the Andromedans who wish to talk about open contact. Well, at least it's a lighthearted start. And when we come to you to discuss things, the label for our particular messages is not really important. The important part is what happens outside of the words, what you are getting from your nonverbal capacities, the impact from your higher self, the opening and wishing to absorb and learn of the information which is provided to you. And that intent is a mighty, powerful factor. And that is one of the things which is lacking in your progress towards open contact. Not that you are not doing it perfectly. We are merely instructing you that that is the point you are at now on your trip to get to your destination of allowing other species off your world to come upon it, to welcome them. But that intent is something that you can do, and you do. For all of you indeed are looking forward to those days when your world is a different place, where fear is not commonplace, where you have disregarded or minimized those things which humans have clung to for centuries. Now, those fears acting on misinformation at times served a purpose because those were all building points to get your society to this point, to this level. All of those civilizations which have failed were foundational because there were bits and pieces of information which escaped from them, which aided other civilizations, and not necessarily in the way you might think of human to human. But there have always been those who are in touch with the spirit world. The indigenous have based their entire lives, their livelihoods around that. And as long as egos do not get involved, those civilizations thrived. And we might add, with a bit of chagrin, especially those which were led by the females, because they are more apt to think about the larger picture in peaceful terms, not in military ex expressions or plans or expeditions, because they know that is not the way towards peace. And peace is the way of prosperity. It is not the gathering of goods. It is not the capturing of slaves, the taking of information. It is being able to live out your days with only the challenges which were meant for you, which you have decided to explore at a higher level. Now, do not think that our words are misleading because you have set up all of these challenges now just as well. But it is in a pool of strife in your current environment because so many are locked in fear. So many lives have been torn apart, are shadowed by their grieving, their challenges, their misfortunes. And you all wish that you could just wave a magic wand and heal all of those and make them feel better, which does not serve them. For they too have chosen their own lives, their own experiences, and you, in your infinite non-wisdom, do not know what those are. But keep those good feelings, those desires to assist, to live a life of peace, and to share it with all consciousness on the planet. That is important. Those energies carry a lot of weight. And that is the reason why high vibrational, in your terms, everything is vibrational, is so important because it carries more weight. It impacts more than the low vibrations do. That's why those who are in control, who are fading away, use those low vibrational behaviors to lock people in, to keep them from having their best days, to keep them from lifting up others. They wish to keep them trapped in their own emotions. You have broken free of that. And while you recognize that those things exist, you have chosen differently. Overall, there are times when it is natural to release some of those energies and to buy in to that madness, we will say. But that is more reflective of this group and other groups like you. But as far as open contact, in ways it started long, long, long ago because it was always destined. It was just a matter of time and a matter of consequence and a matter of unfoldment as to when it took place. And that's why you all came. You all came to support that mission. And we do hope that you feel that because you are important. You are a placeholder for the energies to come in, to anchor into the earth, to be one of those leaders who others can turn to for information, which will soothe them and calm them in ways. That is open contact too. This is open contact. You're not exactly talking with someone who looks like you. And that will become a regular thing in another 30 years or so, probably less. But your open contact is happening now. It is just not tangible for you. You cannot see it on your phones. It is not on your television sets. But it will be, and it will be nonstop. It will be you will literally feel a wave of joy circle your entire planet. And it will uplift you and bring such a smile and a lightheartedness to you. You will look around and say, "Did you feel that?" And everyone else say, "Yeah, what was that?" You say, "I know what that was. That was the shift. That was the ascension. We've crossed the barrier. We've enabled extraterrestrial contact to occur." And there may be other minor ones like tremors which come along and affect very various individuals or groups, but there will be a major one. You may call it an earthquake of the souls because your entire world will be different. You will think differently. You will care differently. You will love more fully and more often. That is the dream world, the utopia, which has been threaded through your communications since man first began to write things down. Before that, they were pretty much living that utopia. They did not need to write that down. But once men started, and we use that term because the majority of those who were instructed to create those writings were males. That was the differentiation between the species or between the sexes, which had already taken place. That was the dipping into the negative energies, which the female folk had avoided in almost every case. Now, there were those who rose to power in the systems who chose to act not in the best interest of everyone and be selfish. But in some ways, that was expected of them. And they were a reflection of the people who they were over, we will say, ruling. But for your open contact, and we do mean your open contact, it will be a glorious time. Because not only will it be joyful for you, because you will know it has finally happened, but you will have the energies of millions of beings coming in to you. Because as you raise your vibrational frequency level, it is easier for other beings to connect with you. And we hope that you all know that because you will literally be less dense in a physical form, in a mental capacity. You will have greater clarity. And some of those little nagging negative things, those little grudges or things of that nature will just slide off of you. They will not be able to hold on in the vibrational level which you will have and you will maintain. And if you have questions for us, we kind of like you. So we will do our best to give you the answers you need, regardless of what you ask.
Greetings to you and
And to
welcome.
you, courage.
Yes, first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to apologize for a misunderstanding we had last time because you asked if I came here to cheat, and I said, yes, of course. However, I didn't mean to cheat others in any kind of way. This is something I could clearly not do. But I was thinking, like, in our school system, when you have exams and you have those little bits of paper or you write some things on your hand to know the answers. I was thinking of that kind of cheating to have more answers. Yes. So, so it came from a playful kind of energy. Mm. I
Do
wanted
you
to clarify.
and do you understand about guilt?
Yes.
As your Bashar has said, if you feel guilt, that is all the proof that you need that you did not intend for any negative consequences to occur through your action or inaction.
Hmm.
So we gave that no thought other than you would give it thought.
Okay. And I would also like to ask to which point does gratitude raise a vibration? Because on overall, I feel that I don't have the highest of vibrations, but I am very grateful. So how does that go on the scale
Are
of
you assuming that all gratitude is the same?
no?
Well, then it's going to affect differently for every person, every moment, every situation. But not feeling that you have a high vibration is just a belief.
Hmm.
Because if you live a life where you have lots of gratitude, you are vibrating high enough. Because you cannot remember to hold those gratitude thoughts while you worry. They are incompatible in ways. So we urge you to get those thoughts about where you stand in your vibrational level and just be the most authentic, loving person that you can be, which you are all the time. And you will get there. You will be there when the time comes. You will not be left out. Unless, of course, you want to sit there and say, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm vibrating high enough. I know they told me they would meet me, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to go lock myself in a closet instead.
No, no,
So,
I intend I'm official organizer of parties. There's no way I would be left out.
well, then let your speech and your beliefs align with that.
Thank you very
That will
much.
serve you. Yes. And it is true for all in this group, whether they are attending tonight or not. They're all going to be involved. They're all going to have their own parties. And some will have their own personal contact event. It may be with 2 or 3 other human individuals. And there may or may not be ships involved because those are for you. Because if we just pop in like a ghost, it's going to freak some people out. That's not what we want to do. And we really don't like that word, freak people out. It, it's just not very detailed, but it will surprise and elicit many different emotions, we will say. But it will be a fun time. It will be exciting. It will be worth all of the buildup.
I look forward to that.
Yes, that will carry you far into the future where you get to meet. And we are not suggesting that you twirl when you meet them.
I could if it would make someone happy.
And we
I have a
appreciate you being a
question.
lighthearted group. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for interacting with us for this co-creation. We really appreciate it. My question is the low vibration activities that are going on in some parts of this planet, specifically wars that are going on. Does that have an effect on the timeline, probable time frame, I should say, for open contact? In other words, does it speed it up or does it lengthen it out? Could you speak upon that, please?
You have to understand, well, you don't have to understand, but it would be helpful if you did, that everything that happens affects everything else. It is all connected. And there are probabilities involved. And that energy has to be used up somewhere or released. And it is being released and used up. Now, it will occur, but how it occurs and the players involved are still in flux. There will still be the Yaels and the Pleiadians which come before you. But the messages that they have, where they appear, who they connect with, may be different depending on the scenarios which exist at that time. So yes, they do affect open contact. These meetings affect open contact. The coming movies and disclosures affect open contact. But as far as bringing it forward or pushing it back on a timeline basis, that's irrelevant because it will happen. It's just that humans get hung up on that timing thing. It's not like you're going to go on vacation and miss it. But there have been particular episodes which have been prevented over many years. Your nuclear devices are not going to be allowed except on possibly a limited basis. And that may sound scary, but you have to understand that all things exist. But that is not the timeline that you are on. But you could be. Another one of you could be. We do not see that from our point of view.
Right.
But the important thing is that you just do the best you can to be the best you can. That is really the only thing that you can ever control.
Mhm.
And that is how you impact other people in the most glorious way. That is how you can be of service to them, by being authentic, by recognizing and honoring them as you do all consciousness, and being that example. And those positive examples will gain speed, will pick up traction, and other people will start to understand that that is a valid choice for them. And more of them will take that upon themselves to pick up the trash, to hold open the doors, to maintain eye contact and say good morning. Those little niceties that you are so familiar with because you do them so consistently and with a smile and sincerity in your heart. Your energy just spells out niceties on display here.
Sweet. Well,
That's
thank
another
you.
word for it.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming and interacting with us. Um, and does anyone else have questions?
The silent majority.
Christiana?
Thank you. Hello again. Yes, recently I was in contact with a psychic, and they told me of a being that manifested as a beautiful black horse. I had a feeling, however, this was not actually a horse, even though horses are absolutely beautiful. But there was another energy there, and they wished to let me know that they have my back. I was wondering if you could share some more information on that being.
We will say that it was the energy of the horse which was detected. And while that particular being may choose that expression, you were wise to consider and to recognize that it came in another form. There is only positive attributes associated with that, but that energy is somewhat playful. So it may go about its business, we will say, its method of encountering, of experiencing, and co creating with you and others in its own fashion, its own flavor. And as long as you know that it was that energy of that black horse, regardless of the form that it takes, and you now have that locked in, and it may take you a second or two to say, now I know, but you will do so. So give yourself credit for recognizing it for what it is and what it is, not so much in appearance.
Thank you.
Right on.
And since I don't see any other questions, could I ask another one? um, okay, I was told I have some parallel lives as a queen on Earth and on another planet. Are you allowed to say on which part of Earth and on which other planet?
We
Please?
are allowed to do whatever pleases us,
Yes.
and
Are
we
you
have
willing?
ways of covering our tracks if we choose to as well. Now, the royalty aspect on another in another reality is too far removed for you to understand it, for you have your human senses and your human sensibilities, which will require you to interpret that in ways which are meaningful to you, which may not be accurately portrayed by that particular energetic expression in another realm. The one which you had in this particular Earth environment, you had slaves, you had arches all around you, lots of polished stone flooring, columns, fountains. You had very few duties other than to uphold the morals, the morality, the joyfulness of the populace. You soothed them where the other members of your royal court, we will say, conducted virtually all of the business, the negotiations, the punishments, the creating and application of legal systems. But that is not in any way relevant to what you consider your legal systems now. It was a life of many pleasures, many days of ease, but you took it upon yourself to get involved in ways, in situations where you wish to impact others in a more or to obtain a more favorable outcome. And at times that brought you in disfavor of those who led. And you would be separated from your beloved populace for times. And your kitty was not allowed in that particular expression. It was a quite warm environment. We are glad that suffices you and raises more questions.
Thank you very much for everything you shared.
And how do you feel? How does that resonate with you?
Well, I still carry this energy of wishing the best possible outcome for all involved. Having said this, of course, I'm also willing to just, you know, be not so nice if needed. Yeah.
Not so nice.
Yeah, like rip somebody's head off was what I was thinking. But
In an authentic way.
yes.
So you would choose to not be yourself if society dictated.
You know, in English, they have this expression, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. Sometimes there are situations where something must be done. And I have it in my life as well. There's things that need to be done and nobody does it. So I do it.
And how does that make you feel?
Wouldn't, well, it's a sense of purpose.
And does that sense of purpose override your desires?
No,
So it is your sense of purpose. You do this willingly, not because others have not done it or will not do it.
yes,
We urge you to think on that.
I shall. Thank you.
We wish you your luck on that one as well.
Hmm.
Because your personal desires are your only compass for your lives. The rest of it is just props. But doing what you desire as often as possible throughout your days is the highest expression of authenticity that you can attain. And when you do stuff, you do tasks which you do not wish to do. Now, please understand that if you wish to provide for someone and take care of them, that is the overriding desire. There may be subtasks or other things which you do not prefer. Very few people on your planet like cleaning bedpans. But if you will know that it provides the quality of life and care and enables someone else to live a better life, then you will do it gladly. You don't have to like it, but there's a distinction there. But if someone keeps calling you and say, hey, can you give me a ride to this place you don't like to go, especially since it's raining and you have other plans, those are the ones which you need to say, I don't think so, and let the chips fall where they may. Because that is not your desire. That is your guilt. That is your obligation. That is where you need to make the distinction. And your lives will turn around abruptly once you establish those boundaries and say, no, I'm just going to do what I like. Even if you have plans and that does not exactly fit well with this particular group. I've made a commitment to go with this person for this thing, but now I have something else even more exciting that come up. What do I do? For us, we do the most exciting thing. And the other people will understand, or they won't. It is up to them. But you being authentic lets them know that, hey, I understand why they chose to do that, and good for them. But that may be rarer on your planet now than it will be in the future. Matter of fact, that is assuredly true. But that is another fine distinction where humans restrict themselves by choice. But it's all fine. It's perfect. You're all learning. And you are enabling others to learn with you.
Thank you very much.
But don't knock any heads off. It causes more drama than what you might think.
Indeed.
And we will
Thank
come
you.
back to you closer to open contact. And we interrupt it.
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for this interaction.
How nice that you continue to be so nice. It is a comfort. It is a welcome mat that beams of love and honor and respect. But you too must use that discernment about what is best for you and your desires. We are glad you will not make us repeat that again for you. And you are
Thank you.
most welcome. And you can think on that as well. And I know, we know, you shall. And we will come back and visit again closer to the open contact scenario. But we have done our purpose for this particular evening in your time. And for the foreseeable future, there is no need, as we have other explorations which we will do. And not that you are not important, but there is no need for us to intervene for the next several months, we will say. Now, as the ships start rolling in your skies consistently, we will come back. not with the ships, but to give our little input, provide our information. And we thank you for being open for that and bid you a fond farewell. That was kind of strange at the end.
Why?
Well, there was something about my energy. And it wasn't really like they made a negative comment, but they sensed that something was a little off, and I was curious about that.
Hmm.
Oh well.
They said they would come back.
Yeah, they're going to take a break.
Yeah.
Not that they need to.
Hmm.
Strange.
They said when there's more ships showing up.
Well, I guess,
It could be the timing, Ray. Um, I had kind of interrupted their closing statement by,
yeah.
just saying thank you because I know it's 8 o'clock. So, or at least on my time frame it is. So,
Yeah, I don't think they're going to care about that. I really don't. I mean, they really don't care about what we do or say. They just love us for who we are, no matter
thank
what it
goodness.
is. I mean, they have that unconditional love thing going too, but they're just very picky about how they do it. And I think that's why they were so insistent about, no, follow your desires. I mean, it was like they were going to come out and say, no, be like us. Screw the rules. You see something you want to do it. But of course, they know that, we have kind of consequences built into our little environment that we've created. So don't go knocking people's heads off. Not even on whack-a-mole. That's violent. And Tarquin got up
Hmm.
or stayed up. Thank you. Well, cool. I'm going to take a miniature break, and we have an hour before the next one.